Will a cheap £5, £10 drill do you? Or do you need something a little bit more robust? Hi, my name's Hayley, welcome to the channel, which I may have to rename Nails and More at this rate. Forgive the window, it's not dirty, it needs replacing, but we're here to talk about nail drills. Now, I bought this lovely little thing off Temu for £5 British. Very similar models on Amazon, ranging from about £10 to £20. They're all very similar. They're USB charge, and you get a little box of different bits and pieces that you can put in. They normally have a couple of different speeds, a forward and reverse. And that's basically it, and you can see it does get used, but is this enough? For I also have the Saviland nail drill, which is clearly a bit more beefy, 40,000 revolutions per minute. I'll put the info up. This was £60. I think it was on offer when I bought it. It might have been £50. And there is another very similar one by a brand called Melody Susie, I believe, that I've seen a few people in Facebook groups talking about, and they're all basically the same. It's a mid-range drill, or you can carry on and go up to some very lovely looking ones that are over £200. Now clearly I don't have a £200 model to show you, so I haven't bought one because I didn't feel the need. I'm doing my nails at home, I'm not seeing clients, I have zero professional training. This is just me doing my thing at home. So as for bits and pieces that get included, they are basically the same, apart from the Saviland one also had, one's actually in because I use it, these, I'm not sure what they're made of, but these white ones that are harder, and you get that one, and you also get this detailed one as well. The Sunshine's decided to come out for its last hurrah of this summer. But apart from that, the bits that you get with the Saviland one are essentially the same. This is the cheap £5 one, and these are sort of a rainbow effect, but they are basically the same. Now I have heard it said that it is more to do with the drill bits rather than the unit itself, once you've got up to a certain grade, like the £50 one. So rather than buying a more expensive unit, this one would do, and then you could buy more expensive bits if you want. But I am going to directly compare my Saviland £50 drill with my Temu £5 drill. So that's what, 10 times more expensive? I don't know, I can't do maths. So we're going to switch to the other camera and I'm going to do you a little test. So I have prepared a couple of tips for us to play with. 3 dips, 2 top coats, just to give you a demonstration of how both drills work. And in the interest of fairness, I have put the, is this called the mandrel bit? I think it might be. And this is what you put your sanding band on. So we're going to make sure the sanding bands in both kits are exactly the same, so they're clearly just made in a factory somewhere. And everything's interchangeable. I'm not sure if that's by design or accident. And you do get different grades of sanding band, coarse to fine, I believe. I know Susie sells on her website extra fine ones, I think, and I think she has a skinnier mandrel bit as well, so that you can get into the harder to reach places. So I have no idea how many revolutions per minute this one spins at. It just has slow and then fast. They are both fully charged as well. And then the Saviland one, I've never really used above, I think 15, but it does go all the way. Ooh, sounds like I'm about to take off. I have no idea why I would ever use it up there. I don't know. I think you'd have to be a very, very professional to get up there. But you know, I started off using it on 5. Again, watch Susie's video, watch it twice, watch it 3 times, watch it every day. You can do so much damage to your nails if you just go in and don't know what you're doing. So I started off using it on 5. I now do tend to get up to about 12 or 15. And that's like me done, you know. I don't think I'll ever go faster than that, especially, turn that off, when I'm filing off on using my non-dominant hand, because taking everything off my left hand is fine because I'm right-handed. Using the drill in this hand to take off on my right hand is a lot harder, so it takes me longer and I'm slower, so I have the drill on slower. This just gives you a lot more control. Obviously I like the pretty things, but you're trying to make the job of removing your nail product quicker but also safely. So for the purpose of this demonstration, so not too much pressure to begin with. So that's got the top coat off, and if that's all you want to do, that's fine. You can now go and soak off your product. If you want to use this for just roughing up your natural nails, fine. But if you're trying to get all the product off down to your clear layers, because that's how I do my dip powder now, I have a couple of clear layers, put the coloured layers on top, and then I file off the coloured layers so that I don't have to soak off, and it's a lot quicker. So if I was going to do that with this setup, it would take me a lot longer. So if I try pressing a bit harder, it actually stopped there. The more pressure I put on to try and get the rest of this product off, the motor in this drill isn't strong enough to cope with it. So it ends up stopping the drill altogether. And depending on how many layers of coloured dip you've got on, this is going to take you quite a while. Now the only test that I haven't done, which I've literally just thought of right now, is using a better bit in the cheapo drill. So as you can see, this is the one that I use most often. It's got a little bit of whatever colour I had on last time. And I don't know what this is called, but you know, it says on big letters, do not use on natural nail. This is for removing product only. Get that out. So let's see if using a more expensive bit in the cheap handle works. Also, I wear glasses, and it's a good job because when you're doing this on a full set, and this bit in particular before I start using it, the bits that it flicks up are a lot bigger than if you're just hand filing, because when you're hand filing, obviously it's a very fine dust, which isn't great to breathe in, and I have invested in some masks to wear, and this keeps the bits bigger. So I'm not telling you need to wear some sort of science experiment style goggles, but there has been the odd occasion when a couple of bits have flown up into my face and they have bounced off my glasses, so I'm just putting that out there. Right, let's have a look. It's definitely getting more off. You can see the quality of the removal is better and neater with this bit, and it is a little bit lighter in the middle, so that's where it's getting down to the natural nail, so to speak. So it is quicker, but I'm not sure how comfortable I would feel using this with this stronger bit near my natural nail, to be honest. I'm not sure I would feel as in control. But we'll continue with the experiment. So this is my Saviland one. Now, I'm setting it to 15. I mean, I don't even know what this one operates at, to be honest. So, but this is what I would normally use it at. So, are we the right way? Yeah. See, this feels faster. It feels like it's turning faster. And you can press harder and it just actually gets product off. Oh. Okay, so I'll just compare these two bits. So you can see on the cheaper one it's not quite as even and not as much has come off. That's because it's not spinning as fast, isn't it? Because I used the exact same sanding bands on both. This is a much more even removal because it's spinning faster, and I only had it on 15. And when I press down on the cheap one, it stopped spinning altogether because the motor couldn't take it. When I press down on the more expensive one, you can see it took out a chunk of the product just because the motor is stronger. So for the last little bit, and also these lock into place on this one, so which is nice because I don't think the bit would fly out of here particularly. It is in there very firmly, but when you're buying cheap things, that's what you're sort of not getting, is the quality of goods. So you never really know. But this is nice and locked in now, and this is the bit that I personally use all the time, as well as the skinnier one, just to go around the edges. And after I've used this, I have to say I still go in with a normal hand file just to make sure I've got everything, because I am still very new at using this, and there's especially on this hand I don't get all the colour off, because I'm kind of a bit too scared to keep going back over the same bit, and I would rather leave it and then get the hand file out and go back than cause myself some damage and take away my natural nail. So let's finish this off. Okay, so back onto 15. Keep doing that. So I tried to apply some variable pressure so that you can see, but obviously you're trying to be consistent, which is something that I'm practicing and getting better at. But you can just see, you know, very quickly it's already getting down to the nail, the clear dip, what have you. It doesn't take a lot of effort, it's very quick. So this was the cheap one with the good bit, and it does work, but it's just a bit more even, it's a bit more steady, it's a bit more controlled, and when you're dealing with stuff like this, more control is more safe. So it all comes down to how often are you going to use the drill, and what are you going to be removing off your nails, and what kind of a person you are, to be honest. If you're not going to use the drill very often and you have a limited budget, I don't think there's anything wrong with having the cheapo one. It does the job. It might take a little bit longer, depending on which one you get. Some of them might work slightly better than another one, but it's not bad. And what can you get for £5, quite frankly? Not even a coffee. But I think the main problem for me with this one is the sort of variable pressure, and the speed drops the more pressure you put, so that's not very good for consistency. And as someone who is kind of doing their nails every week at this point, I did start to get frustrated with the length of time that this one would take to use. So once I'd built up my confidence in using the better one on faster speeds with better drill bits, this one takes me a lot less time to use than the cheap one. But if you're only doing it every 2 to 3 weeks, does it really matter? Is it worth spending £50 or more if you're not going to use it that often? I would also point out that I have gone very, very gingerly with this one, because I am aware that I could do myself a lot of damage with this. So in a way, starting out with the cheaper one has been better. And then as I've grown in confidence and watched Susie's videos a few more times, I now feel much more confident using this one, and I enjoy using it. And I enjoy using the proper drill bit as well, because it really does get it off quick. I can't see a reason I would ever need anything more expensive. I think if you're seeing clients and you're using it on a daily basis, multiple times a day, then eventually you would burn the motor out. So when you're buying a more expensive one, it's more about how often you're using it. But for me, I think this is perfect. I will still use this, especially when I'm doing tips, because it's nice to just grab out of my drawers, and I use it to just take the shine off my tips when I'm doing experiments and trying to figure out what different colours to use. And not to forget, do you even need a nail drill at all? Using hand files is just as valid and gives you a lot more control, especially in the early days. The only reason I really started looking at nail drills is because I started getting hand cramp. Because I was doing my nails so often and filing so often, it was starting to hurt my hand. So I had to look at a nail drill. But if you don't have that problem, do you even need to bother at all? Check out some of my other content, join the community Discord and we can have a chat. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye!